It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Jim Nocek. He is the owner of Anyela's Vineyards and also representing Onondaga Grown. Neil Carr stops by, president of Prime Heating and Air, and then Sheila Ostrom, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions, along with Lorraine Parkalap, who is a paralegal from Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and then Jeff Rogers, the owner of the Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic, stops by for a nice conversation.
Tom,
so that's all coming up.
Tom.
Yes.
You haven't brought any zucchini in? You haven't brought any
Nothing.
pumpkins in?
We didn't plant a garden.
They did nothing this year?
No, Mike Johnson tore it all up and put a patio in
that
for me.
That explains it. Because by now, people have zucchini the size of a car.
Yeah.
And
nothing.
So you got nothing. Could you buy some and bring them to me?
Yes, we always do have zucchini and eggplant on hand at the Soccocio household.
Well, you're going to have to pick some up and bring it in.
Absolutely. Hey, let's talk with Jim Nocek right now. He is the owner of Anyela's Vineyards. How are you?
I'm just great today.
It's great to see you, man.
Thanks for the invite.
What's your wife's name?
Patricia, Patty.
Patricia, Patty. Yeah. I talked with her last time I was up there when we were doing a wedding reception, but you don't do the wedding reception thing anymore. What do you do up there?
What we do is we make wine and we provide a place where you can enjoy it extensively.
Nice.
Really, we try to accentuate the program with regard to looking at agriculture first. That's people don't realize that that's kind of where the wine comes from.
Sure.
And all of agriculture is that way anymore. We're a couple of generations away from being on farms, and everything comes from the supermarket.
Right.
But not really. So we wanted, even as you drive up the driveway, we wanted to make sure people see the vines first, no buildings, and then you finally enter into an area where we do have buildings. We got, I think, places for people to enjoy wine, stay there for a while, and enjoy the destination.
I hate to be that guy, but where is it? I got a driveway. I got grapes. Where the heck is it? If anybody's looking on YouTube, you're seeing me holding up pictures.
We're not in California.
Okay, that's good.
Not in the Napa Valley.
That's right. But we're, I think, in just as a lovely place. We're in Skinny Atlas, New York. We're about just a little under 4 miles south on the west side of the lake.
So you pass Skinny Atlas Country Club, and you keep going straight.
You betcha. And we're on the west side then.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yep. How long have you been doing this? Is this a family business?
It's a family with regard to my wife and myself, but I started out actually, Anyela is my grandmother's name. They came over from Eastern Europe right around World War I time.
Right.
They set up a shop in Western New York, south of Buffalo, and actually that's where most of the New York grapes are grown out there. And initially, I'm a scientist by training. I really get...
Really? What did you do full-time?
Nutritional physiology, and I was involved with the industry, if you will, from an R&D standpoint. I worked for a couple of industries and consulted on my own. And worked with a lot of larger industries where we would look at supplements for animal feeding, human feeding, and whatnot.
Where'd you go to school?
Cornell, Penn State, and ended up at Virginia Tech.
Wow.
So kind of.
He's an intelligent man.
Yes.
And notice this.
And we tricked him to come here.
Look at his physique. He's slender and all that. He knows nutrition.
I did not look at his physique.
What are we doing?
That's good.
What are we doing wrong?
He wasn't a head turner to me. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean that way.
So was the vineyard there when you purchased? How long have you had that? Was it another one before, or was it?
No, it was a green site. When we first came over here, actually, I ended up in Syracuse with my first job, and got more interested in the viticultural aspect and the winemaking aspect from a science standpoint.
Right.
So, and then I looked at the Finger Lakes proper, Seneca Lake and Cuba Lake, and said, I just don't want to be one of 30 wineries on lake. Nothing wrong with that.
Right,
I don't want to be one of those. Okay, so then I looked at Skinny Atlas, and Skinny Atlas, has no winery. It has a demographics. It's close to Syracuse. Nobody's addressing that market. So, wine is something that you have a passion for and you want to make and you want to do a great job, but you also have to look at it from a reality standpoint. You got to sell it too.
Right.
Okay.
Got to make a living.
Exactly. So we try to embrace that community, and we found out very quick that why a lot of people didn't grow grapes there, because they're a higher elevation, and during the wintertime, it gets colder than cold.
So explain why vineyards are on the sides of lakes. Explain to folks to understand, why do grapes grow there and they don't grow in Tom's backyard?
Yeah. Typically, they need a place for cold air sinks, okay? That's really kind of the bottom line. And on a hillside, the cold air will sink and then will go down a slope. And typically, it's nice to have it go down a slope into, for example, either a lake or an open area where it can settle and be away from the grapes. So you want.
Why do I want that?
Because you, particularly in the wintertime, with regard to the real cold temperatures, there's a threshold as far as what grapes can stand. -5 to -10 is kind of a critical point. You don't want to get much lower than that with regard to injuring not only the primary buds that you're looking for to develop the grape crop, but also potentially injuring the vine itself with regard to their grafted vines, and you really have to protect that graft quite a bit. Same thing in the fall, in the spring, I should say. We want to have the cold air to sink and the cold air to move downhill. We don't want it to reside on the grapes.
Okay. Now, as far as your vineyard is concerned, where do you sit in terms of size within the Finger Lakes area?
I'd say we're medium. We're about 5,000 to 6,000 cases a year. We've got 24 acres of grapes up there, and they're all vinifera grape up there.
And what kind of wine do you make?
We make all kinds of vinifera variety. That means varieties that are more European style, if you will. We make Pinot Gris, we make Chardonnay, we have Pinot Noir, we have Cab Franc. All those traditional varietals. The ones that we really like to go ahead and make specifically are our blends, and those are our best-selling ones. Okay. From a crafting standpoint, it gives us a lot of opportunities to express the region, like our Veil. Our white wine is a blend of Chardonnay, also has some Riesling and a little bit of Hugo White.
Is it all your grape, or use some crush, or no?
All of ours.
It's all, so this is all right from there?
Right from there. We actually are a net seller of grapes as well. So.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
So everything is controlled by us and is put in a bottle by us.
How many people do you employ out there?
It'll be seasonal. During the season itself, that being starting from, say, April through November. On the vineyard side, we'll employ up to, say, 7 or 8 people. And then on the winery side, we'll employ up to 10 get
That's it.
Can people get
I thought he was going to say like 200 people.
No, there's a seasonal thing. Can people get your products at local liquor stores or things like that?
We do have some liquor stores that they do. We have a wholesale component that they carry, but most of our sales are right out of the store at the winery.
So you're on Farm Fest. On Farm Fest, I always say that right. Yes. So this weekend, Saturday,
yes,
they can come up and visit.
Folks can come out and visit during the day. I think you said 10 to 7.
Right, 10 to actually, we're going to have tours associated with the OnFest program from 10 to 3.
Okay, and if they can't make it Saturday, Sunday, you're open. They can come and see you 12 to 5. 12
to 5. We also have music on that day. A pretty big band on
What's that? Who's that? Now you got to think of a
that's
name.
That's the band.
This is where my wife comes in.
Yeah. But it's a big band. Let's put it that way.
I believe Diana Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Out of Auburn.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, now, if I come up there, would I be able to squish the grapes with my feet like we did in the old country?
I hope not.
Okay.
I hope
not. We all hope not. We want sales to go up and not down. So to get there, just go through Skinny Atlas, hang a left, go down the west side, 4 miles down?
West side, about 4 miles down.
There's some signs they could find it?
Actually, they can't miss it. We're the only vineyard on the west side.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy to find. You just go right up there.
You can see it right up on there.
It's right between vines.
And I know, Tom, you've been there, right?
Oh, yeah, several times. Yeah. It's wonderful. And just to wrap up, you can go there and sit and look over the lake because you can see the lake.
That's the objective. We want people to stay, enjoy the wine. We really, it's not a place where you just chug alcohol. It's a place where you really enjoy the scenery, enjoy the artistry of agriculture. culture, and have a good time.
Excellent.
The bottles are beautiful, Radio.
Yes, they are very well designed.
People on YouTube, you got this
high-end
absolutely
stuff.
beautiful stuff.
Well, thank you very much.
Well designed, a lot of good
Beautiful.
taste.
Well, thank you so much for what you and your wife do and your whole team up there.
Appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
All right. Jim Nocek right there, owner of Anyela's Vineyards. We've got Neil Carr coming up next. He's the vice president of Prime Heating and Air. Stick around for that right here on the local show on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM.